Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Zuko, and thanks for stopping by. Today, we are once again going to be talking about the Nendoroid box situation. I know it's a little overdone at this point, but we actually got some closure today, so I think this will be the last time I ever bring this up. I just saw the news drop. It's pretty early in the morning, and I figured, why not make a video on this? Now, if you're not caught up to date, about a month or so ago, Good Small Company announced that they were going to be changing the Nendoroid packaging, and even rolling it out immediately right after that. And they gave us a list of some upcoming Nendoroids that were going to be getting this new packaging extremely soon, including the Nendoroid 2.0 Aisaka, which this is my box. I did review it on the channel a couple of weeks ago. You could check out that video if you would like to, but it's not required to get what's going on in this one. Either way, people were not happy about this change, like pretty universally, and that's a bit of an understatement. Never seen as many people complain about something in the anime figure community as I did with this packaging. And I guess just to summarize it really quickly, everything is cardboard now. There's no blister packaging, so your figure's not really as safe during transit. Pieces can break a little bit easier, right? The paint can get scuffed, which is just not something anybody likes, right? There's no window on the box anymore, so you can't see the product, and that isn't great for a couple of reasons that kind of mess with the presentation of the box. A lot of people just don't prefer this new style. You now can't see the actual figure before you open it, in case things were like damaged or broken, right? In case you had to make a return or something like that. And I guess there's just more of a chance of like actually getting scammed on the aftermarket because they could like swap pieces in and out, the whole figure maybe, but I mean, if there's a scammer out there, you're gonna get scammed regardless, so just be safe when shopping online. Basically, there's just a lot of arguments against this new packaging, and yeah, people weren't that thrilled about it. Well, today, Good Small Company announced that thanks to customer feedback, they're actually going to be reverting to the old Nendoroid packaging. Now, let this be a lesson that complaining works. And I gotta hand it to them, they responded rather quickly to this situation. Now granted, they most likely foresaw that a lot of people were not going to be buying their products anymore, and you might think that's a bit of an overstatement, but I have seen so many people claim that they were going to cancel their pre-orders and just not buy Nendoroids anymore, and that's fine. I think more power to them. If they don't like something, they shouldn't spend their money on it. Vote with your wallet, that's the best way to get your point across with these companies, or I guess go on Twitter and just complain until they actually change things. But yeah, it would be nice if they actually address the data breach on their Good Small Company US site. I would not recommend shopping on that site until they do fix that situation. That's a pretty big damn deal, and they haven't said anything about it, but that's not what this video is about. Anyway, we do have a blog post, so let's check that out and read about this situation. So yeah, I'm just going to read most of this word for word for you guys. This is to inform you about the decision to cancel the packaging design changes for Nendoroid and Nendoroid basic products that were originally announced on 25 October 2024. So it's been a little bit over a month at this point, which is a pretty quick turnaround considering that they were going to change everything, right? But yeah, following customer feedback regarding recent changes to the Nendoroid brand, we have completed an internal review. We acknowledge that these changes do not meet our customers' expectations and are committed to preserving the quality and value of the Nendoroid brand while implementing changes based on customer feedback to ensure the product quality and value our customers expect moving forward. With regards to our efforts to reduce plastic waste, we will be exploring alternative approaches, which is nice considering that that was their main point when changing the boxes, even though a lot of us figured that it was also because they wanted to save some money on the packaging, which is fine, but a little bit of transparency goes a long way. Now, I guess before we read on anymore, I do want to make an additional point here, and I'm going to have to switch to my webcam full screen for this one. Here we have a pop-up parade of Ame-chan from Needy Streamer Overload, which somebody pointed out, and this is so obvious, right, that these boxes are entirely plastic. Why do they like care so much about the Nendoroid packaging and reducing the plastic within that box when this is entirely made out of plastic? This like red cardboard is like an insert you put into the box, or they do, so why not redesign this? It doesn't make any sense to me, and it felt so silly not like recognizing that while making the last video. But I also have this large pop-up parade of K-Angel, which I'm trying to avoid the glare here. Sorry if I'm like moving this box too much around. They don't use a lot of plastic for the large pop-up parades, and I have no idea why they decide to go this route. Now, the presentation on this does look pretty good, but I think K-Angel's a bit of a special case where they give it a little bit more flourishes and just cute patterns and stuff like that. because she's special or whatever. I think they know these sell really well, so they just want to give her some special treatment. But like, why do the large boxes have less plastic than the small ones when they make so many of the small ones? Because there's just so many different figures of pop-up parades getting made in the like smaller variant comparatively. I don't get it. It's a weird situation. I think they should tackle the pop-up parade boxes in terms of plastic reduction instead of the Nendoroids, just because there's no additional pieces for the most part in pop-up parades. Unless like you have something really unique, right? Maybe it comes with like a weapon or something, but even then, that doesn't happen that often. And in my experience, just from like talking to people and even myself, I feel like most collectors would be more willing to actually recycle these boxes compared to a Nendoroid box with like all those little pieces. You need to store them somewhere. This is a bit of a tangent, but I just feel like if they want to reduce plastic, they should tackle the pop-up parades first, and then figure something out with the Nendoroids, because they make so many of these goddamn things that I think it would be smart. Anyway, back to the main point here. We have a little bit more to read. Basically, these like 12 Nendoroids that they've been working on are unfortunately going to be still receiving the new packaging. And we did know a few of them, like Kurisu, Taiga, Yoko, right? I think Kano Yamanoichi was one of the examples we used early on. Chino, I saw her box. It's like the exact same thing as Taiga's. So if you pre-ordered any of these, just be aware that they're going to be giving you that new cardboard box. And you actually can cancel these like Nendoroids if you don't like this decision, which is great. That should have been in place when they first announced this, and people wouldn't have been as upset about it, because you kind of got blindsided, right? I didn't love the idea of receiving a new box that felt inferior, but like, if they just let me cancel it or gave me a little bit more time, or maybe announced it for Nendoroids that were upcoming instead of ones that were out next week, I think there would have been a little bit less like, you know, anger about this whole situation. But just to be clear, this only applies to orders placed on Good Small Company store. If you went somewhere else, you're gonna have to deal with them. And if they don't have like a cancellation policy, you're probably out of luck, but at least Good Small Company is trying and allowing people to cancel, because that's not something they really let you do anymore, including the US site. They like just axe that completely from their services, which I understand. A lot of people do kind of take advantage of cancellations, but you know, it's always nice when you don't have to worry about like, you know, locking in. Just be smarter about your pre-orders, I guess. But I've certainly canceled a lot of figures in my day. So, you know, it's just kind of part of being in this hobby. Anyway, that's about it for this video. I don't want it to be too long or anything. The main point is that the new packaging is being axed, and most people are probably going to be pretty delighted with that news, though I do know that there were a decent amount of people who did like this new change. So let me know down in the comments, now that this just seems to no longer be a thing, how you feel about all of this in the end. It is kind of funny though that there's just like these 12 Nendos that are just going to be branded differently from everything else. They're like the 12 sacrifices in the Nendoroid line, though I do wonder if they were to ever re-release any of these, would they make an entirely new box for them? I wonder if I would be like gullible enough to buy this Nendoroid again just to get like the different box. I would hope I wouldn't be, but who knows? That probably won't happen for a very long time. Subscribe if you like this kind of stuff, and I'll see you later. Peace.